This is so targeted. I need new friends. Hello and welcome back to the Star Thomas YouTube channel. It's your girl, Star Thomas. If you are rejoining from my previous video, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. I promise that I'm not usually in my pajamas. Well, I can't actually promise that, but there is a reason that I am wearing my pajamas today. I decided that I was going to do a little bit of like a story time vibe and hoping to just like keep it cozy. So I decided to throw on a pair of pajamas. Yes, they do have stars on them. I'm very well aware that my name is Star and I'm wearing stars. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I promise. Actually, I'm not going to make any more promises. Can't make any of those. So, welcome back. I have decided to challenge myself yet again, and I decided that I'm not going to choose what I talk about in this video. Instead, I asked my friends and my family to come up with topics that they think would be funny or interesting for me to talk about, and they wrote them all down. And what's even funnier, I have no idea what they wrote down. I just told them to write it on a slip of paper and just give it to me, and I didn't even look before I started this video. So I'm actually not sure at all what I'm going to be talking about today. So we're just going to get right into it. Let's go with, do you believe in the Mandela effect? Yes. Okay. So for those of you who do not know what the Mandela effect is, I'm going to put it somewhere in like this general area. I do definitely believe in it. I think that it's very easy for a group of people to remember something that didn't happen. And if enough people are talking about it, then I think it's easy for the truth to be skewed if enough people believe an alternative source. I think that the world in general relies on other people for information, and that's like prime breeding ground for the Mandela effect. I don't know if that was confusing to anybody else, but it definitely was for me. Hi, welcome. Celebrity I'd most want to meet or collaborate with. Oh, there's so many, actually. There's so many. I definitely think that it would be a huge I made it moment if I were to be able to collaborate with Sam and Colby. I've been subscribed to their YouTube channel since about 2015, 2016, and I've been watching their content pretty much for the past decade and being able to watch them grow their channel. So I feel like if I were to ever be able to collaborate with Sam and Colby, that is the biggest, like, you've made it moment of my life. Other ones would be, you know, Lorraine, Tara Yummy, Sterniolo triplets, Carl Jacobs, Quackity, anybody loosely related to what they do. Really, anybody would be a dream to collaborate with, just because I haven't collaborated with anybody. I'm still really in my infancy of content creation. So even just thinking about content creation in general and being able to collaborate just sounds like something that's like totally outside of my comfort zone for sure. But it's something that really interests me. I love watching collaborations. Hobbies. Okay, so I am definitely a homebody. I do not go out and do much. I binge watch TV shows like 911, The Rookie, Grey's Anatomy, watching movies, TV shows, binge watching. I am definitely one to sit down and spend the whole day just watching TV or content. I also do read a lot, so I've really been looking forward to watching the Percy Jackson series that's come out, because I grew up reading those books, so that was really cool to be able to see like on the big screen. Silver screen, big screen. If it's a TV show, is it the big screen or is that just movies? Whatever. It's on a screen. Other hobbies, I kind of want to go outside and do more, because growing up, I was definitely a very outdoorsy person. I was, going hiking, and I did do a little bit of hiking this year. If you see this picture right here, that was in a place called Blowing Rock, North Carolina, which is kind of where I'm from. Well, I'm not from the mountain area. I'm based in Greenville, North Carolina, but I went to Blowing Rock, and that was really cool. I saw a lot of cool pictures, like a bunch of turtles. I climbed to the top of a mountain and sat on a rock. I ain't standing on the ledge of nothing. But I did that. I used to go kayaking all the time. I do have my own kayak, so I think going outside, I would love to rekindle that hobby. But I also am very, very antisocial at times, so binge watching is something that I fall back on quite a bit. This is so targeted. This is targeted. Okay. A red flag that I would ignore. I know exactly who wrote this. I need new friends. Friends. A red flag that I'll ignore apparently is any of them. I am the queen of ignoring red flags in relationships, which is why I am not currently in one. I am terrified to be in a relationship because of all the red flags that I ignore. Thanks. This one's a lot better. Favorite vacation. Where all have I been? I think my favorite vacation was when I went to Texas a couple of years ago, and I think it was my favorite vacation for a lot of different reasons. Not just because Texas was so interesting to go see and do, but one, it was the first time that I had traveled alone. It is the first time that I went on a vacation that was not with my family. I am 27 years old, and this was what, 2-3 years ago, so I was about 24, 25, and that was the first time that I had ever traveled outside of family vacations, and being able to travel alone was like a huge step outside of my comfort zone. And I ended up meeting one of my internet friends, Gabby. She is one of my best friends that I still talk to this day. Shout out Gabby. If she allows me to, this is the picture of us meeting each other, which was in a Buc-ee's. That was interesting. It's the first time I'd ever been to a Buc-ee's at just about midnight, and I felt like I was on a different planet. So that was just really, really cool. And the last question. Favorite celebrity I've met? Well, first and foremost, for you guys to understand the favorite celebrity that I've met, you need to know which celebrities that I have met, so you know what they're going up against. And I do have pictures for all of the celebrities that I've met. When I was 19 years old, I went to a Comic-Con in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think it was called GalaxyCon at the time. But when I was there, I met John Barrowman and Catherine Tate from Doctor Who. You may also know John Barrowman. He played Malcolm Merlyn in the Arrowverse. So they were really cool to meet. And there's pictures on the side of that. Who else have I met? everybody else has been a content creator, and I don't know if that counts for you guys as a celebrity, but it does for me, so I'm going to say it anyways. So the first content creator that I ever met was Carl Jacobs from Mr. Beast. I actually ended up meeting him twice. Here's the first picture of when I met him, and I'm only going to show this one right here now because I'm trying to go in order of when I met them, and he was the first one I met solo. Kind of makes sense that he's the first one that I met since we're both based in Greenville, North Carolina. We're both, the same age. But I met him when he was doing the collaboration with Journeys. Super sick shoes, by the way. I think that I have them somewhere. Next up would be, I met Carl a second time, but I also met at the same time Sapnap and George because they were doing a live episode of Banter when they were doing their podcast. And here's the picture here. They were really nice to meet. So I met Carl for the second time, and then Sapnap and George for the first and only time. Also at Banter Live was Austin Show, Piso, and Wally Bear, as you can see here. And then I also met, when I went to Texas to see Gabby for the first time, it was to go to a Dream concert. I ended up running into him at the Austin airport the night before the concert, but I didn't get a picture because I was fresh off of a plane and looked beat up, busted, basically wearing pajamas, which, yeah, I know I'm posting myself wearing pajamas now. We're not going to talk about that. These are better pajamas, I promise. That one I'll definitely promise on. But I didn't want to take a picture when he was also fresh off of a plane. And then I ended up having meet and greet for the concert, which is where this picture came from. And then last but definitely not least, while I was at the concert, I also met Awesome Dude. And he was great to meet. So now that you guys know all of the content creators and celebrities that I have met, now I have to decide which one was my favorite one. And I feel like I can narrow it down to the ones that I met in North Carolina, just because I thought it was so cool to meet them in my own state. Let me think about that for a second. I really think that my favorite one to meet was Austin Show. Just because when we were at the venue for Banter Live, security was being really, really rude, saying that we needed to keep moving forward, and they weren't part of the meet and greet for like Banter boys like Sapnap, George, and Carl. They were out in the line talking to us. And I guess security decided that they couldn't be rude to us. I mean, they couldn't be rude to like Piso, Wally Bear, and Austin Show because they were part of the talent. So they kind of took it out on us, the fans. And they were kind of like a little bit rude. And they're like, you need to keep the line moving. You need to keep moving. What are you doing? And I thought it was so funny because Austin Show decided, he's like, all right, fine, she needs to keep moving. I'm staying in line with her. And he just threw his arm around me and he starts walking in line with me, shit-talking the security guys and encouraging me to also roast them, which I thought was absolutely hilarious and made the experience so much better. So I definitely think that Austin Show was my favorite person to meet, just because, you know, he really put me at ease. He made me feel like I was just like talking with a friend, and that was really cool. That was the first time that I had ever experienced shit talking with a quote unquote celebrity or content creator. So that was really, really cool. But, you know, those were the topics that I had. I don't have any other ones. If there's any topics that you guys can think about, you want me to talk about, feel free to leave a comment. I do read comments. Sorry, I'm still learning how to be on camera more, and I promise that that will be better moving forward. But if you guys can think of anything that you want me to talk about, any type of challenges that you think you would want me to do, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope I see you guys in the next video. See ya!